ride this ride, you might get wet. Warning, you might laugh so hard your cheeks will sweat. With Ben and Skin, homegrown homeboys from Richardson, they're gonna soak ya. Woo! Rub-a-dub-dub, it's the Super Soaker.
Here are your hosts for the Super Soaker, Ben and Skin. Ooh, soaked.
Soaked indeed. Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the Ben and Skin Super Soaker on YouTube. I'm Ben Rogers. That's Jeff Skin Wade. We are going to do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. We hope that you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff to get to. A lot of good stuff there. A lot of stuff. We got to talk about this Cowboys dumpster fire and can this season be saved? Want to get to the Kyrie stuff in China, which I thought was fascinating. We got some Rollertown stuff to talk about with Hope Squad. I think the thing I really want to tease forward to is something that I don't know much about, and I don't know how much we're going to learn about it today, but yesterday, during our radio presentation, which you can listen to 3 to 6 on 97.1 The Eagle, Skin is getting up, going outside the studio, dealing with a phone call, and he comes back in and tells me and KT that there's a warrant out for his arrest, or maybe there could be a warrant out for his arrest, and he was trying to figure out if he was being pranked. So are we going to get some details on this story today in the Soaker?
Well, I think that there's a chance that in the middle of this live stream, my door breaks down and the fuzz come running in and they say, "We got you, commie," and then they pin me down and cuff me and stuff me. I think that's likely going to happen.
Oh, they're excited cops. They're going to stuff you.
Yeah. Oh, hard.
They're stripper cops.
Yeah, they're like, "We heard what you." Yeah, they're going to run in with jam boxes on their ear, pin me down, and then it's going to turn into a freak off.
Okay.
And I'm going to be wearing a Free Puffy shirt. It's just a terrible scene.
Okay, but we are going to get this story today.
Yeah. I think it could even be done in concert with the radio show, because I think legally we can do something that I want to do. It's just there's a lot to it, Ben. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay, I'm very excited about this. I am. I've always wanted to see you get stuffed by stripper police, so this is going to be a good episode. We do need to dive into Dallas Cowboys football. Things are not going well for the Cowboys.
Like where we sit after 3.
All right, but we are about to bring on a special guest to talk Cowboys.
What?
Could be anybody.
Ed Kutal Jones.
I would love to see you guys guessing in the comments to see if you could guess who this special guest is going to be. Get over in the comments. We'll whoever has the best one, we'll give them some love here. And could it be Tony Romo?
I bet it's Tony Romo. No, wait. This is a great day. It rained yesterday, and the weather's not too hot, so the fairways are nice and the greens are lush right now. So there's no way we could get Romo.
Could it be Dean Blandino?
I think Dean is a strong possibility. I could see it be Dino.
What about any current players?
There's no way. Maybe Jordan Lewis.
I did start to work a bromance with a player that it all fell apart on me because of the way I played it. But
do you want to go? You want to know what I did last night as I was eating dinner?
What did you do?
Have you ever heard of North, the Italian restaurant at Legacy West?
I was going to say the middle school.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's an Italian place, Legacy West, nice place. Having dinner, and I looked over, and I saw D-Law walking out. And I go, D-Law!
Did you really?
I swear to God, this is true. I go, D-Law! And my table is close to the door, and he's walking out with like 5 people. He turned to me. Here's what he did. And then walked out. So, we've had him to the brewery before.
Yeah.
We've been at, events with him. I think he would recognize me, but I think even if it was just he and I in an elevator and he recognized me, I think he would do this.
Okay.
Not because he's a jerk or anything. It's like, I wouldn't want to talk to me either. I offer him nothing in this world.
Could it be Jake Ferguson?
It is Jake Ferguson.
You remember how that bromance was getting going.
Yeah, you didn't. Did you? I can't remember. Did you set him on fire? I can't remember exactly how you played it.
All right, with no further ado, one of our favorite dudes ever to talk Dallas Cowboys football with. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the wickedly talented Kevin KT Turner.
Hey, pull over.
Oh, KT's going to bust through my door to arrest me with these warrants.
Pull over.
Look at that mustache. Tell us about your mustache strategy.
Well,
What are you looking at?
it was here. It was all the way down. And then once Skin started telling that DeMarcus Lawrence story, all this just kind of went away. It'll be gone I'll be clean by the rest of the day.
Dude.
It kind of falls off.
And please allow me to do this. Please allow me to take some Just for Men, and I want to make it a darker color, especially on these edges. And I think that shit would smash.
It's not the right time to it's probably not the right time for me to be experimenting.
Yep.
But give me a month or so and
All
maybe
right.
I'll be in.
And I hate this because I ruined the stream for everybody, quite possibly the whole entire year, because right behind KT, where that awesome painting that Ziggy did of Luca is, there was just a white extension cord that it looked like a noose, and we didn't know what it was, and KT had gotten up, and so we were like, what is that? Is that like some sort of performative art piece? And Jason, our producer, was like, maybe it's a noose for the Cowboys. Like maybe he's making a statement. And so I pointed it out. KT said it was a live wire and it was dangerous. And so he put that picture over it.
Yeah. I got some stuff I'm working on back here, and I just forgot to cover it up. And I'm not used to anyone calling me out on stuff. So
Yeah, right. You don't
around
work
you
with
guys,
us from
and then
3 to
it's
6
like,
every
okay,
day.
Here we go.
Think about how bad it'd be if every day from 3 to 6 there was a visual component. You would hate life.
Oh, I know. It's just the morning time is kind of my safe space where I don't have to be on guard all the time.
And now we invite you to come on the Super Soaker, and now you get no peace in the morning.
Why do I say yes to this? Juanito's up here in the comments saying he's disappointed.
Juanito's always been disappointed in you. My favorite moment of the last decade is Friday at Pluckers when Christina made a Dave Matthews taking a shit on a boat joke. It was like the last person that you thought would dogpile came in from the top rope like, it just landed on KT. It was amazing.
Hurts more when it's her, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be my friend.
Right.
All right. We do need to talk a little Dallas Cowboys football. It feels like it's a bigger fire than normal. It just feels kind of like we're at the end of the Mike McCarthy era. You know, our pets' heads are falling off. Ceedee and Dak are yelling at each other. Skin's yelling at D-Law. Micah's yelling at D-Law. There's dysfunction on the sidelines. Things don't feel good. And since you're our special guest, Kevin, we'll let you tee this thing up. What of all the things that are going wrong for the Cowboys, is there one thing that is most concerning?
Yeah, it's the obvious one. Say can't stop the run. So, and they don't have the players there to do that. Like that's the number one thing, right? And that might have been why Tank looked at Skin real weird last night, because he's just like, when he can't stop the run, he's never in a good mood.
Right.
He probably did the whole "don't yell my name in public," bro.
Hold on. No, I did.
that.
It was my fault because I said, D-Law, stop over pursuing.
I hope he kicks your ass when he sees you.
He can't kick my ass. Have you seen these guys? Look at this. I will fuck him up.
He would huff and puff and blow you down. Just,
He could literally blow me over. Like he could just blow real hard and I'd go tumbling down the street.
You see Skin in Carrollton where he lands. No, they can't stop the run. So, problem number one at the top. They had stuff they could have done in free agency, didn't do it. We all know this. Like, these are all things we all called for, didn't get done. Then it's like, okay, well, we maybe we had a good draft. I don't know. Maybe we did. We'll figure it out. But then you like get into a world where, to me, if your defense is gonna like have to get figured out with a new coordinator, well, then your offense has to pick it up a little bit. And the fact that they're pouting and throwing each other under the bus, and you guys know me. It sounds like a broken record. It has no value when I say it anymore because I've said it from the beginning. There are teams in this league who their fans actually like their coach, and their coach actually helps put their offensive players in positions to win. Like dude, Cincinnati last night. I don't know if y'all saw that game against Washington, any of that.
I didn't.
Cincinnati can't stop anybody right now, but their offense scores because they get to where they need to be on offense. Like the Packers are a team, the Vikings, everyone's raving about them right now. Like there's here's my real theory. Honestly, there's a correlation between hot coach and good offense.
Oh,
Really think about
is this a Kingsbury take?
Yeah, Kingsbury's the one who put it over the edge, but there's many people who haven't wanted anything to do with Kingsbury for a long time. You guys get a good look at old Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. I don't know if I have the ability to share a screen, but I could probably do some of this. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, good-looking fella. Everyone is raving over this guy right now. Everyone wants to get a little bit of this guy's penis.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wonder if that's because he's hot. And Mike McCarthy would never. Okay, yeah, I can do it, right? You guys see that? It's not like a terrible-looking guy. That's
I can't
a guy
see
who
anything.
gets first bounds.
I see your face. I see your cop mustache. I cannot see what you're throwing up.
Oh,
You
y'all
say
can't
cop?
thumb it up? Okay, I thought you could see that. Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, I guess look it up on your own.
By the way, Jason just said, KT, scooch back a little for me.
Now I'm
There
away
you-
from my microphone.
Yeah, don't. We don't
Oh,
want
no,
that.
that's
Get
too
back on the
far.
mic.
That's too far. Split the difference. Can you hold that mic and like you're singing a song?
No, like noises.
No,
Oh,
you're
okay.
good.
All right, you're good.
Okay, so I have a couple things I want to throw in there right quick. Number one, about last night. So I read about last night's game. I didn't get to see it. Talking about the Washington-Cincinnati game. My main takeaway from that game and reading about it is that Ben Rodgers had one of the tweets of the century when he said that Joe Burrow walking into the game wearing that vest looked like he lost his fantasy league. That was the tweet of the year. I'd like to commend you on that hot football take.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he was. I'm sure it's stylish, dude. I mean, I most of the time I just look like an aging police officer. I'm not a guy to go to for style content, and opinions and fashion. But he looks like. I mean, he was wearing. I don't know. He kind of looked like what I thought Ellen might have dressed like in like 2014.
No. She was super butch.
Well, he looked like a guy from 98 Degrees.
Yeah, he had boy band aura to him.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch the game, but it's pretty clear the way people are talking about it that Washington's got what Mike McCarthy likes to call some mojo moments happening. I thought as I've watched these first three games, I think there's tremendous room for improvement for the Cowboys that's achievable on offense. I think it's hard to imagine a world in which that defense gets better. But if you think about these last two games, the Cowboys offense has the ability to be way better than it is. It may not get there, but there was a stretch last year where Dak looked like the MVP and Ceedee Lamb looked like a top 2-3 receiver in the world. Okay. So that's happened before. That can happen again. And so I think kind of what KT was just saying about Cincinnati, it's like they have the offense. If your defense is going to be that bad, you have to match them. And so basically the offense, which is capable, has to be infinitely better than it is. I don't know how much better this team gets on defense. The other saving grace is that all you have to do in this dumb league to have a modicum of success is win your division. And if you look at the division, man, is Washington the best team in the division? Look, I know Philadelphia is going to get better, but what I'm saying is you have 6 games with the Giants, the Commandos, and the Eagles. So you could conceivably go 4-2 or 5-1. It's conceivable in those games, and then you feel different about the way the season unfolds. They're still going to get their ass kicked in the playoffs, and it's still going to be the last year of McCarthy. But what we've seen the last 2 weeks, I don't think the season is going to be that.
Okay.
Now, but let me just say one last thing and I'll shut up. However, we have seen this before with Wade Phillips, where when the landslide happens, if the guys don't care about each other and don't care about themselves and whatever, then it could end up completely falling into the ravine.
Yeah. I think the arguing and fighting on the sidelines shows that they do care and they're passionate about it and that they haven't quit. And the way they fought back in the fourth quarter, I don't want that to be the main story. The main story is they got their asses kicked again. But Dak didn't quit, even when Ceedee did. But here's what I would say, the devil's advocate here. You may be right. They may get it all sorted out. The reasons that they might not, though, would be, okay, they don't have a running game.
Right.
And they may not even have a running back who's worth a shit on the roster at all. They might have more problems with their O-line than we thought they were going to have. And the downgrade from last year to this year of the offensive line, that may be real. And then McCarthy might have a tired scheme. Guys are not getting open. They're not getting separation. So I don't know if they don't have talent at the receiver spot, outside of Ceedee, or if they're just not able to get open, or if the scheme's broken. But I would lean towards saying, yeah, man, Dak, I believe in Dak. I'm not going to quit. A lot of his throws look wobbly and weird and stuff, but right. I'm not going to give up on Dak. But if there are if you can't run the ball at all, then your play action doesn't work at all. And if guys aren't getting open, there's not a lot of room to succeed there. So McCarthy's going to have to reinvent himself or try to scheme this thing without a run game. And while the clock's ticking and he's walking the plank, and I just don't know how realistic that is. I hope it's realistic.
Well, it's realistic if they make some changes. And that's like, is the head coach going to be not stubborn enough? I don't know what the opposite of stubborn is.
Because I don't think unstubborn is a word.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Is he going to be humble enough to, I'm guessing on that one too. I really don't know. To do some basic things. I'm going to use it's a simple thing, nerd out for a second, real quick. The teams that are number one in offensive motion. Let's see, offensive motion percentage last week. Packers, 86%. That's Malik Willis going and winning a game, even though he can't complete a pass 10 yards down the field. Let's see, 49ers, third at 82%. The Bills, so what they did last night, 80%. Dude, pre-snap motion happens all the time. Are you seeing it a lot with the Cowboys lately? No, you're not. We saw it more the last couple of years, it felt like, than we've seen so far this year. Maybe it's early in the year and they're saving stuff and all that stuff. There's also a theory maybe Dak doesn't love a lot of pre-snap motion. Aaron Rodgers famously didn't like that. He liked to go up to the line, see what the defense has given me, and let's find a matchup. That, to me, is kind of what got McCarthy fired outside of the team not playing well in 2017. So there's a few things there to think about. I just think you're the Cowboys. How do you fix this? To me, it would be go to make a trade and do something splashy because you have to be ahead. They're always losing, and if you're losing, Micah can't do what he does. It's very simple. Like, we know some of these things, but you have to piece that together and figure out how. And that would be by making a splash. And I don't see Jerry, who just said they couldn't afford Derrick Henry, going and trading for Devontae Adams or something.
I think that the best way to salvage the season and get momentum generated the other way is to make a trade on offense, because I don't think there's conceivably enough that they could do on the defense to significantly change that in one season. They're going to be a team that's going to give up a lot of points. And I think the other thing, I was thinking about this, and maybe the Cowboys' inability to stop the run was mitigated the last 2 years by the fact that they caused turnovers. Like the Dan Quinn defense caused turnovers, and those are game-changing kinds of things. That's not prevalent. Another reason that teams will not use a lot of pre-snap motion is because they fear that it's confusing for their own players and leads to penalties. And one of the things that this team is already doing is getting penalized. And so I have a feeling that has more to do with it than anything else. It's it's like promo guys used to say at the Fan, be good at the basics. And I think that there is a possibility that that leads to the lack of creativity. It's like, all right, let's get this down. We have rookie linemen, right? We have a new center. We have a first round pick in Guyton that's out there. Let's just try to be generic in our approach so that we're not having penalties, and then they get penalties anyways. But if they are to get better, if they could make a trade in season, I think it needs to be on offense. You cannot fix this defense without an entire offseason to fix it.
Yeah, and I wonder, God, it's okay. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I also want to I also want to talk to you guys about this. Do the Cowboys have a problem with Ceedee in terms of moping or quitting or chemistry or not being on the right page with Dak? Is there a Ceedee issue?
It's happened 3 times in the last calendar year, so I would say probably not, because it happens to a lot of teams that have a, but like, I think it's more than CD. Like, does the defense, go back to the Saints game real quick. Does the defense try harder or play better if the Cowboys don't settle for field goals on the first 2 drives? Like, I saw something like the Cowboys are like way up near the top of the league in time of possession in the first quarter, but they're towards the bottom, middle of the pack towards the bottom, and points scored in the first quarter.
Right.
And it's worth 3 games, so there's not enough data to know. But like, those were a 15 play and a 16-yard drive where the defense should have been resting, right? And you had to settle for field goals, and it's like, oh, it's 14-6. And just every time this team's down by a touchdown, the sideline looks like some bombs have been going off. So I don't know if it's just Ceedee. Ceedee can't be pouting like that all the time. Like, that's bad, especially when he's part of the problem. Like, you fumbled, dude. Like, you don't get to bitch about other stuff right now. You fumbled inside the red zone.
Right.
Today is not your day to bitch.
Right.
And they probably could have used him, but I don't know. I don't know.
There's zero doubt that at this point, what he projects at this point in his life is immaturity. Like, this is a minor thing, but going on that podcast and eating during it, he's projecting selfish immaturity, but he's also a young man that's got a lot of money, right? And a lot of fame and a lot of people, kissing his ass. So that's not that abnormal. Question is, will he adjust? Will he grow? Like, again, last year we had all these issues and it was a big story in the paper. And then they went on like an 11-week run where they were incredible together. So that's why I look at it's not like their running game sucks now because they don't have Tony Pollard. He wasn't good last year, right? He was okay. He was just an okay guy. I do think it was better last year than this year. And Ben, to your point, there could be some line issues, but also like with young players, they have the chance to grow and improve as the season goes on. I'm not happy with the offense, but I'm not really that concerned with the offense. But again, this team to be competitive. I mean, would you guys, even right now, would you guys really be shocked if this Cowboys team ended up being 10-7? Would you be like, oh my God, no effing way? I
mean, right in this minute, it doesn't feel like they're going to stack wins. It feels pretty bleak.
Mm-hmm.
They do have to make some massive changes. I mean, and it's so weird if you're just getting bullied and manhandled. Like, for the Cowboys, they're just facing too many second and shorts on defense. It's like, second and short and or third and short, and it's like you're not putting your best player in a position to go hurt the quarterback, and so they're just they can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. So it's hard to really look forward and see the sun, around the corner. But it's the NFL and there's parity. I know it's possible, but it's hard to see right now. It's pretty bleak.
When I look at their remaining schedule, I see 5 winnable games.
And one of them is tomorrow night. Well, hold on. I want to make sure I understand this.
Dude.
I want to make sure I understand this. You think that Philadelphia is not a winnable game?
You know what? I'll give you Philly.
So they have at least, and you
call
think
it a split, like always.
I know, but you said winnable games.
Yeah.
I think without even pulling up the schedule, they have 6 winnable games because they're in the NFC East.
And then the Panthers.
7 winnable games, just without even looking at the schedule.
You can beat the Bucks. 8. We don't know if the Steelers are good. We still don't have a really great read on the Falcons. No, it's absolutely possible.
We're 3 weeks into an NFL season where everything changes every frickin' year.
There's no doubt.
I'll say this, and I almost kind of want it. It'd be kind of interesting if they lost by 10 to the Giants Thursday night.
I was doing a little bit of Giants research last night because I party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and tell you guys, this ain't gonna be a layup.
Okay.
The Giants got some dudes.
Malik Neighbors.
Well, Malik Neighbors on offense is gonna be a problem. Their offense is still kind of bad, but the defense with Thibodeau and Brian Burns, if he plays, he's been hurt. Dexter Lawrence is a beast defensive tackle, like untradeable, like beast defensive tackle. And they got another guy, Ojulari. He's a guy from like 5 years ago, starting to play well. The Giants are interesting, and not as big of a layup as maybe I would have thought that it would have been. But a part of that is my confidence in this team. I've just seen this. I've seen this, and I don't like the other signs. And the other signs are when Mike McCarthy starts going at the media, as he did yesterday, snapping on Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Poor guy, just got Clarence Hill's job. He's in there day in, day out. He asks a fair question.
What was it?
And Mike McCarthy snapped on him.
What happened? I think I missed it.
You sure I don't have the ability to share stuff? Can you give me that ability, Jason? Can you make me can you allow me to share? I probably can't.
You know what? What was it?
I forgot.
What in the F?
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Is that your phone, Kevin?
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's a business call.
Oh,
What, your business or what?
No, not really.
Take the call and explain to our viewers what that was.
and call him back.
I would if it wasn't sensitive. I'll explain to you guys later. It actually is something very sensitive.
That's fine. Listeners don't mind.
That was Brett Favre calling to tell me that he has Parkinson's.
Oh, no.
What?
Can I? So I can't share anything? Because the point of it is.
You'll be able to share.
Oh, I should be? Okay.
Yeah, down at the bottom. I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Y'all want to see this?
Thought you were a pro.
All
I've
right,
lost
check-
interest in the podcast.
Oh, shut up. Okay? You shut up. You don't get to be that way. Okay, here you go.
Whichever
I'm going
way
to
I
share
want.
this. Don't be that way.
I
On
got
my
warrants
time, I
out
could
for
be
my
all-
arrest.
You're lucky that you're not in jail.
You'll see.
And I could be on a important business call. Can
Are
y'all
you
see?
sharing it right now?
Yeah. Can you see it?
No.
Okay.
There it
Okay.
is. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Jason,
Wow.
you just have to click it. Okay.
Incredible.
I'm going to hit play. Ready?
Forward Star Telegram. I know you said you guys don't have a ton of time for corrections this week, but with Jordan Lewis talking about details, Michael Parsons last night talking about accountability, how do you kind of work those conversations in this?
Pretty dramatic there, Nick. I tell you, you must practice that one. Jeez, I mean, well, hey, Thursday schedule. I mean, that's what we're on. I mean, it's we didn't win the game, so I think that's part of where we are. I mean, so yeah, I think they do a good job of answering your questions. It's emotional after the game, so I'm not ever going to referee emotion on the field or after a game.
Okay. You
Can
guys,
I weigh in?
yeah, go ahead. Have a little fun with that.
Okay. I got no problem with the concept of his answer. He's right. I do think, like, if you want to really get controversy, go ask a guy that just got his ass kicked on national TV right after a game how he's feeling. Guess what? Ain't good. And once that adrenaline's pumping, a lot of dudes are going to say some shit that they regret later. Now, some of those guys, they don't care in general. They're just going to say whatever they think. But that part of his answer is absolutely right. And as long as we have guys that have pride having to go and talk to people after getting their ass kicked on national TV, you're always going to get controversial answers, always in every sport. However, we can all agree that he just acted like a defensive bitch at the beginning of that answer. Right?
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway. No problem with what he said, obviously. Guys are going to yell at each other their passion. I think it's a good thing as long as it doesn't tear everything apart. Guys are passionate. They want to win. But there was no reason to be that defensive and that rude with the dude who asked the question. That shows that he's defensive, and that's a problem from a leadership perspective, I think.
Why can't you just answer the question whether they're going pretty defensive there, Nick? I mean, Nick is new to the beat, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter to me, but I just think that's a form of bullying that I hate when coaches do. I hated when Carlisle did it.
Mhm.
And just to show everyone that I'm the big swinging D here. And I was like, okay, cool. But also these are, in some cases, younger people just trying to make it in the world. And I think it's a little messed up. And Dion did this the other day with like, oh, you guys attack college students now. You guys are so jealous of how much they make. And now you guys have decided to attack them. And I'm like, okay, but we've just got this form where the play is when things aren't going for you, we blame things on the media. Media ain't perfect. We all know that, right? But you look terrible if you go straight to blaming things on the media. It's always been a defense tactic. And to me, it sucks. And for him to do that, which is very simple, answer the question. Your answer to the question is fine. He answered the way he said it was before Nick even got the question out. Pretty defensive there, Nick. They're pretty dramatic there, Nick. Dude, screw off. And I know I don't like this guy. Okay. I think
Nick?
he's a fraud. No, I like Nick. I don't know him, but I think McCarthy's a fraud. And I think as much as Jerry might have sold him a bill of goods, McCarthy sold the Jones family a bill of goods way more. And we've discussed this for 5 years. So I know I'm beating the dead horse, but things will be better once this guy's out of town. Go coach the Bears and go ruin Caleb Williams' career, dude. This guy, he's just terrible. And this is what you have. This is what you have to settle with. This is what you have to do it because there's no one better. 5 years. I mean, it's ridiculous.
All right.
Ben, hold on, Ben. I want to throw this at you right quick because you've been on the Bill Belichick will be the next coach of the Cowboys for several years now. After seeing Belichick the last 3 or 4 weeks do this media stuff, which, by the way, I think he's presented himself differently than he even did in that documentary thing he did with Saban, if you guys remember that. He's been energetic with his answers, thoughtful to a degree, definitely manipulative to a degree, but he's carried himself way differently.
It's because he's shagging a 23-year-old.
Well, no, it's because he's playing the game. I don't know if you guys would remember Carlisle's year on ESPN. You guys probably don't. When Carlisle presented himself way differently when he did a year of television. And so what it is it's play acting. All right, I play acted like the way a coach is supposed to be for all this time, and I'm play acting the way I think media is supposed to be. But when no one ever had their little 3-man weave podcast and said, man, Belichick's defense, he gave you nothing. And he clearly could have given you a ton, and he just chose to give you nothing. And all people ever said is, man, what a bump on a log. But no one ever questioned his fear or mentality or any of that kind of stuff because he just straight shut down and mumbled. And Ben, we're about to have that as the coach next year if you are Ben Rodgers vindicated.
Yeah, and this thing kind of happened as I think it was when we were in Malibu at the Nobu at the Jones, media party. That was the first time somebody had mentioned, or maybe it was Steven himself who mentioned Belichick or something. I was like, oh, and maybe they got to be friends on the rules committee. I don't know where they got to be friends. And then somebody else close to them told me that Steven is very close to Belichick, and I don't know if Jerry is too, but to me, it's not. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I mean, obviously he's old, and maybe the league has passed him by, but he has been, to your point, Skin, presenting himself as younger. He might have some hair dye going on. He does seem more energetic. I mean, I'm watching him going, this kind of feels like prime Belichick here. It feels like he wants the job, and I'm not saying it's the right move, but it would be the most Jerry Jones thing ever. As all right, man, this thing is kind of close to hitting rock bottom. Let's go ahead and pump some more juice into this thing by going and getting one of the greatest coaches of all time who wants this job. I feel like it's inevitable, really. I could be totally wrong, but it feels inevitable.
I want to throw this in from the Belichick side. I think he's like, think about how well he knows the Parcells playbook. And he's like, man, if Parcells manipulated these guys, wait till you see what I can do to them.
Yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
And the smart thing to do might be to not do that and keep Will McClay and all that stuff if you can, and get, who's the biggest name you will see will be Ben Johnson of the Lions, who could have been in the boat last year of head coach openings, but that'll be the biggest name you see. The other big name you might see this Kubiak guy from the Saints if they keep it up. You might see him, and you'll be like, okay, there's the next guy, whatever. Ben Johnson, I think, is legit, and everyone thinks okay, this guy can be a coach. Jerry's not going to hire that guy. Jerry's not going to hire this up-and-coming boy wonder. He's proven it a few times that he's not going to do that. He's going to get someone he knows, and if Belichick's a guy he knows, then there it is. The other thing that would bring in would likely be, I would imagine, failed head coach, but a guy who's had Tom Brady as offensive coordinator. I would imagine Josh McDaniels is your offensive coordinator, which doesn't do a ton for me. He's a guy who's lived off Tom Brady's name, but that's probably what you would have. And you would have Belichick's probably old coaching staffs. His son, Steve, would be running, coaching the linebackers. They might bring Matt Patricia in to do some stuff. Like, it would be weird.
What
But I can
about
see it
this?
happening.
What? Let me give you one outlier. Cliff Kingsbury.
As head coach,
Because he is about to go work wonders with a rookie quarterback in your division, and that's going to be enticing. He knows they all know each other, and that would be staying younger. That would be innovative on offense. Just tuck that away over there.
I love
the Kingsbury thing away over there.
I love Cliff. You can't do that if you're serious, though. Like,
Dude, no. This franchise is serious. We've seen it for 30 years. These guys are on point. Fucking nothing gets by them. These guys are serious about football.
When you said tuck that over there, was that like when you told us to tuck it over there that Zeke is not going to get the ball in first down?
Okay.
Said that in a way like you do something.
I did know something, and you know what? I'm sticking to it. You guys wait. It's still going to happen. He is not going to get the ball on first or second down as a carry in the first quarter all year long. It will not happen.
All right, KT, can you stick around a little bit?
Sure.
Are you good on time?
What time's the show start today?
I know you just had a really stressful business call come in. Apparently,
I do need to take that.
Is whoever called you? Are they potentially watching this?
No.
Okay, good.
I doubt it.
Okay. The thing that I want to get to more than anything is in KT, set this up because you were in studio with me when Skin started talking about getting calls about potentially having a warrant out for his arrest. Can you just set this up for our viewers?
Yeah. So normally you guys just take calls in the studio, and you'll just loudly talk on the phone to whoever you're talking to. But I noticed it was weird because Skin ran out of the room multiple times to go into the Lone Star 92.5 studio.
It's a good one. You just go in there and you pull the board monitor down, and you can have peace and quiet.
I hope it doesn't turn the volume down on their station.
No. Don't worry about it. I would have gotten a text from Jeff K.
I always assume when that's happening, like it's a cancer doctor or something, because you've got a bunch of those. And then you came back and you're like, should we get into this? And we were about to come back from a break. And I was like, yeah, we could, but I just didn't know you had someone say they were going to call you back at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to explain to them that you're a radio guy. You're on the radio. But they were offering up their badge number and saying that you were a witness. Or
was
a warrant was out for your arrest?
Yeah, it was very confusing. Do you guys, when you get a voicemail, do you guys go in there and read what the voicemail is?
Sometimes.
Okay. So I got a voicemail. I went in there to read it. Or during a break, I started reading it. And there was a bunch of empty spaces where like it was inaudible. So here's what I read. This is Debbie, blank, 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 called blank, blank, blank. We have some legal documentation, blank, blank, blank. Back here, blank, it was amazing. And then there's a phone number that's not the same phone number that I got called from. And so when I listened to it, it was not Debbie. It was Deputy, and it sounded like he said Kenny Fowler.
Kenny Powers?
No, not Kenny Powers. That'd be incredible. And so I was like kind of half listening, and it's going in and out, and it's talking about witness, and then it's failure to appear and all this stuff. But I'm like, what the fuck? So I called the number that they left, not the number that it came from. But when I went and I looked at my phone log, it came from 214-749-8641, and it said State of Texas. Okay. Now you can do that right now. If you would like to call 214-749-8641, by all means, do it. you will be sent to the sheriff deputy office into a phone tree. Okay. And you can go place a call, whatever, non-emergency, whatever. That's just what the number is. So I just hit the button on my, on my message, and it went to a phone tree, and it said, you're in the sheriff deputy division or whatever. Please leave your name and number for which deputy you would like to talk to, something like that. And so I was like, yeah, I just got a call from this number. My name is Jeff Wade, blah, blah, blah. And so the guy called me back during the next break, and he started talking about my failure to appear at the courthouse on Riverfront. That's down where, over by Lou Sterrett or whatever. And I was like, and he said, the Honorable Judge Monica something or other. And I was like, what are you talking about? I go, man, I have no idea what you're talking about. He goes, you were supposed to be a character witness. You signed the affidavit. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm on the radio right now. Do you want to call me back at 6 o'clock? That's when I get off. None of this makes sense. So that's when I walked into you guys. I go, man, I just got the strangest call. He did say in the call too, he said, this is a courtesy call to prevent the warrants being issued for your arrest. And I was like, okay, dude, none of this makes sense. So I mentioned it to you guys. We're like, let's call him on the air. And my first instinct was maybe, but also like, what if this is real? Because my first thought was prank, right? Someone's pranking me. But then I thought the voice of this person, they got a ringer. They really got a ringer to prank me. I don't know that someone has the wherewithal to do this. So I decided we shouldn't call this number until I got more information. Okay. We do finish the show. I get in the car. I'm driving. I have someone else to talk to. And then that number comes back and I answer it. Okay. So then this guy starts in and was like, yeah, you were supposed to appear and you did not. And so 2 warrants are going to be issued for your arrest in the next 24 hours. One is failure to appear and one is contempt of court.
Okay, right now at this point, I'd be thinking Nigerian prince. He's trying to get me to send him my social security number and my bank account. I would think scam at this point.
I was definitely thinking scam, but I was also like, all right, let me run this ground ball out a little bit. And then he said, is this Jeff Wade? Or, he started concerned. He had my address. He had everything. And I was like, okay, all right. So explain further. So you're saying that I was supposed to appear in court, no one notified me, and that because I didn't appear, that I'm going to have 2 warrants for my arrest. He kept saying this is being recorded, and we will play the transcript for the judge. All right. And so I'm like,
Judge Monica Purdy.
Yes. Do you have it there?
That's a real judge.
Yes. And keep in mind the initial number that the call came from. If you call it, it is the courthouse. Okay. It's the sheriff deputy department.
Okay.
So then I go, wait a minute, man. I go, first of all, I would never agree to this because I don't have time for this shit. And then I go, second, this sounds like a scam. Sorry. And he goes, well, would you like us to call? He goes, here's the phone number. And he said, you can Google this information and it will show you that we're real. And I said, okay, well, he goes, we will call you from the number. Hang on. And then my other line started ringing and it was a call from the sheriff deputy office. Okay. So I click over and it's another voice. And this guy said, so-and-so, I'm the supervisor, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying all this stuff. I'm driving. Okay. I'm thinking about other shit and I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, okay, fine. Thanks for confirmation. And then he goes, okay, I will hang up now. And then I click back over and the other guy's there. And so I'm like, this sounds so fishy. So now I'm pulled into a parking space of where I'm going to go to dinner. And I'm talking to this guy. And he gets to the point, he's giving me citation numbers, all of this stuff.
Is he mad and aggressive or is he kind of polite? Just matter of fact.
He's super calm. Just sounds like a brother, just very reserved. And anytime I'm like, dude, this sounds like complete bullshit. He's like, no, I understand if you would like to, I can't remember exactly how he was worded, but he was like, this is a courtesy call. If you would like to play it out, you're more than welcome to, do whatever you want to do. We have to issue these warrants. I'm sorry. That's just part of the procedure. And so I'm like, God, this sounds like bullshit. And I go, okay, fine. What is it that I have to do to make these warrants go away? And he starts talking about a 15-minute Zoom call with Judge Monica Purdy.
All right. Did you see her?
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, let's hear.
Well, actually, the first thing he says is you can come down to the courthouse, but if we don't resolve this first, by procedure, we will have to handcuff you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You still don't even know what the hell it is.
And yeah, but so what I did is I said, so who is the plaintiff in this case? He goes, that's a private matter. You will have to take that up with the judge.
What?
Okay. And I'm like, that just sounds like bullshit. And so I go, okay, so you telling me I have to drive down to the courthouse, you guys handcuff me, and then I can see the judge? He goes, no. He goes, that is, if you want to do that, you can do that. The other option is go and get post bail. You
What?
can do, okay. He goes, go and post bail. It costs $2,000. And then I go, okay, all right, now I see the scam. All right, this is complete bullshit. And he goes, sir, I'm sorry you feel that way. Hopefully you will not get arrested. I go, okay, so you're telling me that this transcript goes to the judge, right? And he goes, absolutely. I go, great. Hello, Judge Monica. My name is blah, blah, blah. As a reasonable person, since you're a judge, I'm sure after listening to this bullshit transcript, you will go ahead and set me free and relieve the warrants because you know that I knew nothing about it. I'm just playing the game at this point, right? I'm like, this is complete shit. So I go, all right, thanks, Kevin. Please don't send the cops after me because I'm very, very scared. And then I hang up. And then I'm like, oh shit, man, what if this is real? So I called a lawyer buddy, and his first response is, and he handles criminal cases, and he goes, oh, no. He goes, that's definitely a scam. Sometimes they'll say you have a traffic warrant or whatever. Wow. He goes, and they try to get you to, send the money to them. And yeah, it's a total scam. It's not real. He goes, they would never call you and say you have a warrant for your arrest. They would come arrest you. He's like, they don't give you courtesy calls. That's complete shit. So I was like, okay, good scam. They've got it down to a science. If you call, I was thinking at first, I was like, okay, this is a direct line, so I don't have to get caught up in a phone tree. But if you call the main line, they've used, caller ID to grab that number and shield it and make it look like it's coming from the sheriff deputy office.
Damn.
It's a pretty good scam, other than it's like, God, there's no way this exists in the world. But the whole idea of being a character witness, I'm like, what? Who would? Yeah. What? This is crap.
Yeah. And so, my next question is, can we get this guy live on the radio? Can we catch a fish and get him on the radio?
That's what I want to do on the show this afternoon.
Okay.
Now, last night when I was explaining it to my wife, I called the number back and he answered. At first I went to a voicemail, then he called back. And then I was like, so I said, I can't remember. I think I said my name was like Larry Ferguson. And I was like, I'm so scared. Please don't arrest me, please. And he was like, oh, we'll have to look at the cases and we'll call you in the morning. He said he was going to call me at 11 o'clock. Dude, maybe I'll get a call here in 8 minutes. But I think that they won't recognize the number that we call from. And I think we should call them live on the air. And then it will go to voicemail. Then he will call back because they'll see the number and call back. And we'll have to have Christina just pull it up live on air, and then we start effing with the guy.
Badass,
right?
I
love this
scammer to start off the show today. That is going to be the best tease we've ever had.
So something similar happened to my mom before, but they said it was the IRS. right? And, you know, my mom was terrified. They said, if you don't send this money for back taxes, we are going to have to send an agent out to your house. And this is like, you know, I'm aware of these things. And like I said, I immediately thought this is a scam, but they had a really good rap. And so I didn't just dismiss it immediately. I started kind of trying to run out the ground ball to be like, is it possible that I signed an affidavit? Would I do that? Is there a friend that needed a character witness? And then, Ben, I had this funny flashback where I was like, starting to think of some of our friends from, you know, the early 90s that had spent time in jail. That
I was thinking of the exact same person you're thinking of. That's why I was like, maybe
I was like, did I agree to that? So anyways, but it's a really good scam. They had multiple people in on it. I mean, no offense to our cop friends out there. They sort of talked like cops, you know? So anyways, yeah, we should do that today. Because if it works the way it worked yesterday, we'll call. They won't answer. It'll go to this phone tree. And we can play the phone tree on the air. And then they'll see the number and they'll call the number back. And Christina will just have to be ready to answer the phone and then have us pulled up already when she answers the phone.
Wow. I love that. I love that. That's great. Okay. KT, what are your thoughts on that? Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Well, if we are talking about some justice, should we inform some type of law enforcement that we're doing this as well and have them ready to take action?
Like what? Like jump on the phone and arrest them over the phone?
Yes.
Right.
I want Ben to make a citizen's arrest.
Let's have our own fake police officer to go double fake, double down. Maybe Gary Snakes.
Dude, I kind of like the idea of I'll string them along and then I'll say, because yesterday they were like, yeah, you can have your lawyer on the phone if you'd like to pull him in. Maybe like one of you guys be the lawyer and then one of you guys be our own police officer to then come in and make the arrest.
I think you're the best fake lawyer. That would be awesome for you to go into an East Coast lawyer also on the call. Just have long pauses between you.
Okay, let's go.
All right,
let's arrest them.
All right, listen to our show 3 to 6 on 97.1 The Eagle. I do want to get into one other thing. There's a couple other things. Whatever we don't get to today, we can get into Thursday. But I do want to get into some stuff here. So Kyrie has a shoe deal with Anta, and Anta is a Chinese company. What can you tell us about that company? Because you know a little bit more about it than I do, even.
Yeah, they're a Chinese-based sneaker company, and they're trying to obviously grow their share in America. They don't have a lot of people signed to them, but they have some pretty big people, and two happen to be Mavericks. Kyrie Irving was probably their biggest get. And then they also have Klay Thompson. And so, you know, when Kyrie had his big falling out in Brooklyn, and that was such a big firestorm, Nike walked away from him. And so Anta slid right in. And there's been several games this past year where the Anta people are in town. And I don't know if you guys remember, but they did a sneaker drop in Deep Ellum last spring. And it was bonkers. They had a mini basketball court set up, and they had playground games going. They had a DJ. They had Mav dancers there. They took over the whole block. The streets were blocked off. I mean, there were hundreds of people down there. I think that place down there is called Sneaker Politics down there in Deep Ellum. But it was a really, really big event. All the Anta people were in town. You know that dude, Ben, Nick DePaula? He's like he was in town. Like it was a huge deal. And so Kyrie's a huge get for them. And then they, rolled out the Kais, and I know you ordered some of those, but the next step in the evolution of that is to do a signature shoe that is his dad. His dad has a signature. They call his dad Dread, and he has a signature shoe with Anta as well.
Okay, and here's this comment from Tanner Smith. We appreciate all of you guys watching live, interacting. That we greatly appreciate that. He mentions that Kyrie is the what? He's something. He's
chief operations officer, or creative operations officer, COO.
Okay. Okay. So, yes, I did buy the Anta ones. I bought the one that came out before that too, and I thought they were Anta ones, but they weren't. And I enjoy them. I like hooping in them. I like the way they look. I'm a Kyrie fan, and the other day I was talking to you guys about this because I was effusive with praise, and I was talking about him, but I also didn't want to offend anybody. I'm not saying, hey, I agree with everything he's ever done and everything he's ever said aligns with me perfectly. And but I really enjoy listening to him speak, and he speaks with such thoughtfulness. And he was talking the other day about he was in China, and he was just getting mobbed by fans. And he was just like, man, I'm all about things that are inclusive, all races, all religions, all cultures, like we're all one. And I was like, man, that is really badass. I love that. So I love his whole vibe. But again, you have to be careful there, right? Because you're like, hey, I'm not trying to endorse everything he's ever done. Okay, relax.
Yeah. I think, people hold everything anybody's ever said above their head, right? And it's also like, oh, you believe this? Well, you have to be perfect in every regard with all of your actions ever. Because that's just the way that social media now interacts with fame or positions of import. It's very unreasonable asks for humans.
Okay, so I sent Jason a video of a social post about Kyrie, and it shows him in China. He's getting mobbed, and then this was like last week, and then he's on the court. Yeah, check this out. This is Kyrie. We'll just kind of talk over it. This is, look at the mobs of people, and Luka just went to China and was just beloved. And it's like, how amazing is it that we have these two absolute global superstars on the Mavericks that can go to China and each create this frenzy on there. Now, this is him, and he did a little basketball camp with kids. And I realize there's a low possibility that any of these kids can stop him. But watch these things that he does. I mean, he has such a brilliant artistry with spin, and this is one of my favorites. Like, watch this. He's trapped. He's got three little kids on him. Oh, there. How about? Can he hit it? Oh yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna call travel.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And then here's another one. I think this one he uses the backboard creatively. To look at the skill you have to do this, even against a bunch of fifth graders. Look, boom, off the corner, and then the underhand layup. It was just insane. He might be the most skillful NBA player, not only now, but maybe. And here's a commercial for a mortgage company.
I'm interested in a loan. Jason, can you go back and show that again? I want to get to the first highlight. So in that first scene, Ben, was he going through the top of a car? Is that what that was?
I'm not sure. I think he was signing autographs in China out on the street. But okay. I do want to say this. The last time I got excited about a professional athlete doing stuff against normal mortal humans, it wasn't even against kids. You guys remember what it was?
Yeah, it was Des Bryant in the playground against some 15-year-old from Dallas Carter. Okay.
Yes. But dude, I loved this. I loved these highlights, and so go ahead, keep playing it.
Go play it, Jason, if you can play it again. And I think as we look at the beginning of that, I think he's through the top of a car, right?
I don't know that, but I was thinking it'd be impossible to know who gave you what to sign. And
that's what I was thinking.
The jersey.
Yeah, you just sign shit and throw it into the crowd. Now look, this kid is doing a good job of staying in front of him, right? He's being smart. That is a horrible double team. Dude, when you come, he set a screen for his own man and then gave up the fucking baseline. That kid could not play for me. That is not, when you double that far away from the ball, you do it to make him give up the rock. You don't come in aggressively and screen your own man. Cut that kid.
Okay, so the other thing I want to show you guys, you had mentioned Nick DePalma. Is that it? Nick DePaula?
I think so. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'll look it up.
Nick DePaula, I think. And he posted about this. So Kyrie dropped some lifestyle shoes. These aren't for basketball, and they have multiple laces on them. And I just thought they were really, really cool. And I could see my kids loving these. I could see most old people like us probably not being a fan of this because they're too tricked up or whatever. But I loved the idea of having these shoes with all these different laces on them. I thought these were badass.
I want to put on the ones with the real bright, like the second ones you showed, and I want to put those on. I want to put on my pink hat and a tank top and walk through the hood and see if anybody fucks with me.
Dude, I could see you rocking those right there with a suit at the Mavs games.
That's a great idea, dude.
Those would be badass, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I know I saw a picture. I don't want to say that it was Fashion Week because I don't think it was that officially, but I saw a picture like 3 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago of Kyrie and Leon Bridges together at a fashion show, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
Kyrie is an artist. And I don't mean like an artist on the court. He's that, but he's also an artist. He is very interested in the visual arts, cares greatly about it, and is, I think, infusing that into his lifestyle brand as well. So yeah, the Anta thing, it's a shoe deal, but it's even more than that. Like it's a whole, there's layers to what he does and why, and it all has to do with his creative instincts.
All right. KT, any thoughts on those shoes?
I would, as I'm not a big shoe guy, but I can see myself being a later in life shoe guy.
What?
As I'm even debating getting something crazy for a big event I have coming up next month.
Oh, that's mysterious.
I'm gonna wear a suit, and
Oh,
it's like, do I get dress shoes or do I get some like really sick Jordans?
Dude, you know what was badass? My son had homecoming last weekend, and he had 4 friends with him, and they were all wearing black suits.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 dudes wore black, like men's shoes, whatever you want to call them, and he wore his Jordans, and they just jumped out.
Yeah. See, this is the type of thing where when I'm 60, am I going to like regret that I chose to wear some Jordans back in my mid 30s?
No.
I can see that. I understand the concern because some things don't hold up don't hold the test of time. And if you go back and look at those classic pictures, maybe this is a fad that goes away in 90 days and it's gone forever. But
you gotta rock it the way you want to rock it. You gotta own it, because David Bowie was never embarrassed by Ziggy Stardust. I mean, and go look at that. You know what I'm saying?
And by then, you know, you can use AI and Photoshop anything you want to
that's true.
Create a new look for however things went down.
Yeah.
You guys have some other stuff?
I want to go, dude. I got this.
Well, I mean,
yes.
I've just for many years have wondered how you guys had made it through this life without ever saying "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire."
I've seen it.
That's bothered me more over the last month.
I've seen
anything else in my life.
What do you mean? Why has that bothered you? We've both seen it.
Yeah, but you didn't really know the rules very well.
It's been a long time. It's like 20 years old.
Right. That show is that the guy who hosted it is dead. Like that show is really fucking old. Like, hey, do you remember the details of everything 15 years ago? I don't know. Can I see it for 5 seconds and refresh my memory?
Sure. Yeah, you can see it, I guess.
This reminds me of when my high school son comes home and makes fun of me for not knowing what countries in Europe border other. It's like, son, I haven't looked at a map in 35 years, you smartass. Guess what? You're going to get older and not be as sharp. You got to refresh yourself, especially on the rules of frickin' Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I love that that's bothered you a lot lately.
It's been in my crawl.
In your crawl. Okay, I do want to end on this. You may notice the hat that Skin is wearing. That is a collaborative effort between the National Breast Cancer Foundation and Rollertown Beer Works, and we'll show you a little video here. We're partnering with the National Breast Cancer Foundation, which happens to be in Frisco, Texas. It's an amazing thing. And they send out these things called Hope Kits. And they send out these Hope Kits to women who are fighting breast cancer. And it just has a bunch of things inside that are helpful during your fight, right, Skin?
Yeah, it's a really neat deal because the ladies that receive this, and some men do, get breast cancer as well. It's not talked about as much. The stats are that 1 in 8 females will have breast cancer in their lifetime. So that's a pretty staggering stat. But what happens is the National Breast Cancer Foundation, which is based in Frisco. Their foundation is based on helping women as they're dealing with it. And, you know, we talk about this. Cancer has just about touched everyone's lives, but it's really hard to go through chemotherapy. Like, it's really hard. Not all treatments are the same, but most people that I've talked to that have had breast cancer, the procedure is oftentimes to go through these pretty hardcore rounds of chemotherapy in hopes of shrinking the tumor to get it to an operable state. Again, it's not always exactly like that, but that's what a lot of people go through. And when you're going through that, it's really hard. And so if you have someone that, you know, delivers something to you that you didn't know about, and it's all put together thoughtfully with what you have to deal with on your journey to fight it, that's very meaningful. And so what we did was at the brewery, you know, for one thing, we have this merchandise, and part of the money from the merchandise, the proceeds will go to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, as well as our new beer, Hope Squad, which is a hibiscus vanilla IPA. And it's got an incredible finish. Like, at first you kind of taste the passion fruit and the mango part of it. And then for me, at least, I got the vanilla on the back end. It's really good. It's not overly sweet. And we have it on tap, and we have 6 packs to go. And again, some of that money goes to NBCF as well. And then in the morning, we had a whole crew of people. Ben had his wife, Kat, there. I had my wife, Trish, there. And we were putting together these hope kits, and there's a strategy and a procedure for doing it. And Ben and I and our wives are part of the assembly line, and we got 100 kits built and into the mail. And today is Tuesday, Ben. Those women will probably receive them today or tomorrow.
That's awesome. KT, what did you do to fight cancer this weekend?
Well, for me, a lot of my time and effort has been gone towards awareness.
What? Well, you backed off the mic.
What a dick thing to do. To do to somebody. These are some of our good deeds. KT, you haven't done much.
I had done a lot of prayer.
Oh,
okay. Respect. Yeah.
That
reflection
has been hopefully helping.
That's good. Yeah, the power of prayer.
You know what he's going to do, Ben? He's going to join us at Rollertown Beer Works on Friday. The Ben and Skin show is there 3 to 6. And not only are we doing the show and having a good time, but also we'll be, you can get some of that beer we're talking about, Hope Squad. And then I think, I got to double check, but I believe a new batch of the Green Hatch Chili is going to be available as well. The Green Hatch Chili Rollertown Light. I think it's the best football drinking beer I've ever had.
Love it. And we love KT. He's on our show with Christina 3 to 6 on 97.1 The Eagle. That's we'll be doing the live remote at Rollertown on Friday for that. I'm sure we'll stick around afterwards and whatnot. But KT is one of the best ever in Dallas-Fort Worth when it comes to talking Dallas Cowboys football, which is why we love talking to him about anything. But if it's going to be Cowboys, he's extra strong at that. And he's got one of the most popular podcasts out, the One Star Podcast. KT, let's tell everybody about that. So, and by the way, you should be subscribing to KT's personal YouTube channel as well. But KT, let you hype that up.
Yeah, I'll promote all my things. Tomorrow at noon, there is a big thing happening on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@KTFunTweets. And we are having a big Weezer song draft tomorrow at noon. You guys might remember some of these popular figures in DFW history. 2 guys who shaped DFW, according to WFAA, Kent Garrison and Steve Shackelford, jumping on for a Weezer song draft. 30 songs, 10 picks for each team, because Weezer's celebrating the Blue Album on Sunday at the AAC. And then the One Star Cowboys podcast, it's a thing that's been happening, and it's really good because there are no other Cowboys podcasts. So it's a good market to really jump into something that not a lot of people are doing.
Very niche. Very niche.
Very unique. Might be too weird.
Hey, hold on, KT. I want to mention something because I'm going to try to talk you into doing this tomorrow night, and I know you won't and can't, and you're too busy. We're having
trivia.
Yeah, the TV show The Office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're doing The Office trivia tomorrow at Rollertown, Sign up starts at 6:30, and if you win, you get a $100 gift card.
What time?
6:30 is the sign up. 7 o'clock is when the trivia starts.
You know who needs to be there, and I'll tell him, is Saad Youssef. He has watched The Office like 30 times.
You tell Saad if he comes out, I'll buy his first beer.
I don't know when his plane for New York leaves, if they go Wednesday night or what the plan is. They're on a short week, but Saad would go, and that would be your ringer.
Dude.
I mean, I'd be like, I'm about to win some money here because
Come out and bring Roxy.
well, we do love The Office.
And
outside of season 8 and 9.
I meant my dog that passed away.
I have. It is weird that I got her stuffed and from the guest here.
By the way, one more thing. Shout out to Presidente Eric, who said British Knights are making a comeback.
Okay. Yes. Shout out. And then to wrap things up, this is the new frontier. Obviously, this is uncharted waters for us. We're learning and growing along the way. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in and making the Ben and Skin Super Soaker Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. a part of your weekly routine, getting it in rotation. Every like, comment, share, interaction really helps us. Word of mouth helps. Tell your friends. Tell people to tune in. And we have this thing called the Complete Fun Package, where I'm sure we can put the link in the comments. And for those of you watching, if you know how to get the link to that, post it in there for us. We appreciate that. But when you sign up for the Complete Fun Package, it's free. It just takes a couple seconds for you to sign up, and we are able to send you emails. We're able to email you exclusive content, give you a heads up on things that are happening. And just by doing that, we can kind of circumvent the algorithm and really stay in contact with you guys. And to do it, you're instantly entered to win things like meet and greets. Like in April, we gave away a meet and greet with Luca. That would be a pretty cool thing to win just by giving us your email address. We're going to give away a TV. We're giving away a laptop, computer, a lot of cool things, tickets, concert, games, things like that. So sign up for the Complete Fun Package. We'd greatly appreciate that and help us grow the show.
Part of the Complete Fun Package.
Bam.
Going out here.
That is from Jason, who does a great job of producing this. Thank you to Jason. Thank you to Steve Shackelford, who made our intro song, who's a genius. Mick Jimenez, who did the artwork for the Super Soaker. TC, who puts together our promo videos on social. Johnny, who puts together our thumbnails. And thank you, KT, for joining us today, dude. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Oh, dude, happy to be here. And I'll see you guys in like 4 hours.
Yep.
All right, it's over.
Oh,
This has been another Iron Balls production.
Iron Balls!